Welcome to Alidac Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm here at Freeman's Waterhole for the start. The event is then heading up to Dungog for a lunch break and then back to near Cessnock for the finish. Welcome to Alidac Motorsports coverage of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. It's August, it's Freeman's Waterholes. It must be Heart of the Hunter time. Now, the Heart of the Hunter is an event organised by the Australian Historic Rally Group and traditionally starts here at Freeman's Waterholes, New South Wales, Australia. Heart of the Hunter is a navigation style event using a route chart. It traditionally starts here at Freeman's Waterholes, and in this case it's heading off into the Hunter Valley for a lunch break at Dungog. All roads lead to Dungog, and then it'll make its way back to just near Cessnock for again the traditional ending location. It's attracted a good sized field here of 30 odd, give or take, cars, mostly classic cars. The odd more modern car is amongst them. A good cross section of types of cars that have entered. Great to see all these old classic cars still on the road and still being used, and what will probably be a modern classic. Freeman's Waterholes is a great place to start this type of event, and of course Dungog is a great place for a lunch break. Cars will follow a route chart which will take them around the back roads of the Hunter Valley. There'll be a number of different methods to ensure they do travel on the correct roads. Everything from route check boards on the side of the road to questions the competitors will need to answer as they travel. These style of events have become quite popular over the years. Gives the owners of classic cars the opportunity to drive the cars around as part of an event with like-minded people, owners of classic cars. Doesn't matter whether it's a exotic classic or a run-of-the-mill classic. All are welcome. What was your first motorsporting event? Thinking.
Oh, it's a long time ago. I forget now. Maybe a rally sprint at Awaba.
What was your first motorsporting event?
Oh, going to Mad Days, the Mad Day event up around the Hunter Valley and that. Yeah, and we used to have them down around the lake and that as well, down at Swansea.
Right.
And then I had the first one I went to was up at Morpeth, and it was really good, very good.
What was your first motorsporting event?
Carnacross at Nelson's Plains.
What was your first motorsporting event?
Probably a novelty event back in 1970. Go and watch or be in? Well, yeah, probably back in the 75, I suppose, just 76.
So you were
a navigation event.
You were a child at that point?
No, just a little bit over that. Yeah.
So guys, what was your first motorsporting event?
That's 50 years ago.
My first motorsport event would have been a Nelson's Plains sprint in an Isuzu Bellette.
My goodness.
With P plates on it.
That's the way to do it.
And mine was in a Renault 10 against Ross Dunkerton in Western Australia, and we rolled the car in one episode 3 times in that event. We were trying so hard in this Renault 10. I was navigating, but that was the first event, because I remember holding the hands on the roof as we went over and over and over. So I remember that clearly. What's the name of the event? Haven't got a clue.
All right, guys, what was your first motorsporting event?
Me? Gee, Jimmy, 40.
We need a history book to look it
Yeah,
up.
40 odd years ago. Oh, don't know. Wyndham Estate Rally.
My first experience was the Outback, you know, driving
Classic Outback.
Yeah, classic Outback, yeah.
Classic car movement has become quite strong over the last years, with quite a few classic cars having been restored.
First motorsporting event
This one.
today.
Today.
First motorsporting event.
Oh, me? You're one of your fluffy ducks.
All right.
Mine was much older. I used to be a part of Skedak down the south coast, so motor carnas and carna crosses.
I made a film. Oh, welcome back to the Elliott Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm about 10 kilometres from the start, where the competitors will be coming around this bend in just a few moments.
Well, here we are, only about 10 kilometres from the start, where the route takes a deviation off of a main road onto a minor road, and then back onto the main road again. This is quite normal in navigational rallying. There'll be a question or a route check board somewhere along this deviation to make sure the competitors did take this deviation. The great thing about classic rallying is it does take you onto roads that you would not normally travel. It is part of human nature, I think, to just go by the easiest way, one place to another. Classic rallying, though, deviates all over the place, and end result is you get to go to places and drive on roads that you wouldn't normally drive on. Case in point here, this little deviation. The Hunter Valley offers great opportunity for these style of events, with lots of roads crisscrossing the countryside, rural sort of environments. What do we have here? Willy Wagtail landed on the camera. My goodness. Another part of getting out and driving around is the wildlife of all sorts of descriptions that you might see along the way. Here we have a Magnum Ferrari in yellow, something I haven't seen before. Very nice. Classic rallying, of course, varies a great deal. This event is very much a route charted event, so it's not all that hard to find your way around. Other styles of navigation, of course, is used in other events. Everything from sort of grid references to bearing points to herringbones. A whole lot of different methods of navigation can be used in these events, depending on what the competitors may like or want. Of course, this is an untimed event. It's not an event that speed has anything to do with the result. It's all about finding your way around and driving your classic car, of course. It's also become popular now to do these style of events as tours, where There is no route check boards or questions, it's just pure and simply a tour around the countryside. A lot of these events are reenacting old-time famous motorsporting events. These have become quite popular as well. All of them, I think, have the same motivation, and that's to get everyone out and about, driving their classic car around the countryside. Arks the Leyland brothers. So it is good to see all these classic cars being used and driven. And we have a Porsche. My goodness. Classic cars, of course, take any sort of form, really. From your exotic Ferraris or Porsche, or your Toyota Corolla, or your Honda. As long as they're old, they're a classic. But then you have other cars that sort of fall into that same category, maybe that are a bit more modern, like your Corvette or your McLarens or your Nissan Godzillas. A classic car is a classic car, and all have their challenges. You certainly know you've been out driving for a day when you've been out driving a classic car around the countryside. Tend to be a bit on the heavier side. Steering, brakes, everything seems a bit heavier, gear changes. But there's something about a classic car. Maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe it takes you back to a different time. Or maybe it's just a little bit more earthy. Modern cars tend to do a bit too much for you.
Welcome back to Yellow Duck Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm just on my way to Martins Creek to try and get ahead of the competitors, and anyway, I'll catch up with you a little bit further down the road. Welcome back to Yellow Duck Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm at a place called Martins Creek, where the competitors will be arriving in just a few moments.
Here we are at a place called Martins Creek. Again, a deviation off the main road. It's Martins Creek's actually a railway station, a small village. There's a railway crossing not far from this point. This bridge is actually over the railway line. In fact, the competitors will cross the railway line a number of times in the next few kilometres as the road crisscrosses back and forth. Goodness, Toyota Yaris, all singing, all dancing. Competitors here are still about half an hour away from the lunch break at Dungog. All roads lead to Dungog. Just about every intersection you come to in the Hunter Valley will have a sign saying Dungog. It's quite amazing, really. Great to see all these cars being driven.
Welcome back to Yellow Duck Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm just on my way from Martins Creek to Dungog for the lunch break. and I'll catch up with you a little bit further down the road.
Of course, Dungog's a smallish, rural, agricultural town.
Welcome back to Yellow Lake Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm at the lunch break at Dungog, just waiting for the first cars to leave.
Dungog's famous, of course, for the birthplace of Australian cricketer Doug Walters. Also, I think there's a film festival in Dungog. I'm not sure if that's still running, but it's certainly a nice place to visit for a lunch break. Half a dozen cafes in the main street.
Welcome back to Yellow Lake Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm just on my way out to the next filming location just after the lunch break. So I'll catch up with you just a little bit further down the road. Welcome back to Yellow Lake Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm just outside Dungog, where the competitors will be arriving in just a few moments.
Well, here we are just south of Dungog, maybe, I don't know, 6-7 kilometres south, taking another deviation. Unfortunately, this is a very busy road, heading south out of Dungog. It's got a lot of local traffic on it, so it's a bit hard to film here. One of the cameras was perhaps out of adjustment, but there you go, that's life. Don't talk to me about life. The car's turning off the main road here and heading off ultimately to the finish just near Cessnock. Very busy intersection here with lots of traffic, lots of trucks, roadworks taking place nearby.
Oh, welcome back to Yellow Lake Motorsports coverage here today of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'm just on my way to the finish, which is just near Cessnock. So I'll catch up with you a little bit further down the road.
Here we are at the finish of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally for 2025. Another great event. Looking forward to the next event, which is the Evan Green Memorial Rally. Oh, look at this, somewhere over the rainbow.
Well, that just about brings us to the end of today's telecast of the Heart of the Hunter Historic Rally. I'll see you at the next event, the Evan Green Rally. I'm Quack McMullard. Bye for now.